What's up, guys? It's John from Side Hustle Experiments. If you're new to the channel, I am a six-figure Amazon reseller, and I also sell on eBay. I mainly sell used books. In today's video, I am going to talk about why it is essential to have another stream. If you're working a 9 to 5 right now, why you need to start your side hustle like today. Something not so great happened to me late last week, and it really reminded me how freeing having a side hustle is. And let's get into it. So earlier this week, or I'm sorry, last week, I was dropping off books at my lister's house, and we were unloading them, and all of a sudden, I don't know, like a gallon of fluid just dropped from the bottom of my car. It was crazy. Never quite seen anything like that. So luckily, I was able to make it home. I was also able to drive to work because there's a repair guy right across the street. Turns out he couldn't look at it, and then the check engine light came on when I was driving home, and I took it right to the place by my house where I usually go. Turns out there was something with the coolant. And it turned out to be like an $1,109 repair. Wasn't expecting that. Had no idea it was coming. Really sucks. But it really took me back to, I remember when I first started my job, and I was new to where I live now, and like I didn't really have any money per se. I mean, I don't know if you would say I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Like I was contributing to a 401k. There's probably like $300 or $400 left at the end of the month that I would put into savings. Nothing like major. Like I probably, if I had like a $5,000 expense, like I don't know if I'd be able to come up with it. I probably had about $2,000. And I remember something similar happening to me where I needed new tires, and it was like $800. And there was just like a pit like in my stomach where I was like, oh my God, like I can't believe this. Like I just felt so stuck. And it was a feeling where it's like you almost feel like hopeless. I mean, this was probably 7, 8 years ago, before I knew about reselling and everything. But just sitting there, it's like, oh man, it's not like you could just like go to your. Well, I had a salaried position. I worked in marketing, so I don't know. Maybe I could have went to my boss, but like, hey, I had the major car repair. Is there anything else that I could do, or something extra I could do? And they probably would have said, no, not really. And yeah, I just like basically my income was my income, and there was really nothing I could do to make it go up. Yeah, you could like, do a good job, get a raise, maybe once a year, maybe you get a bonus at the end of the year, but it's just you're stuck. But then I do remember I had another major car repair on a different car after I started my side hustle, and I was still working my 9 to 5. And the feeling I had was so much different. It was like, you know what, this really sucks, but I'm going to make this money this weekend. Like, I'm going to go to a thrift store, I'm going to plan a huge trip, go out of state, hit all these thrift stores, come back with about $1,200 at least worth of profit. And that's it, that pays for the car. So what I really want to say is you need an extra stream. It's never been more riskier in today's world to only just have a 9 to 5 job. I'm not saying you need to go full time. I'm saying you need another source of income. And for this reason, like, especially with COVID, like, just think about all the people who, worked in food service industry, or, I don't know, people who worked in gyms even. Like, they were shut down. Like, they literally lost their job. And if that's all you had, then you lose all your money. And yeah, I mean, yeah, you get unemployment and stuff like that, but it's not your full paycheck. And yeah. So why am I making this video? One, because I want you to get started. This is definitely geared towards the people who are just like kind of on the fence. And my thing to you would be like, what are you waiting for? Like, just stop. Like, I was the same way. When I first started, I my stomach was, this sounds so ridiculous, in knots, overspending $10. Like 10. I was gonna buy a set of chairs for $10, and I was like, oh man, I don't know if this is a good idea. Like, oh man, like, should I do this? Should I not do this? Today, like, it's insane. Like, I spend thousands of dollars a month on inventory, like, without even batting an eye. Um, so I get it. It's like, at first, it's like hard to wrap your head around. Like, is this gonna work? Should I do this? And I'm not saying you have to sell books. I'm not saying you have to sell on Amazon. All I'm saying is do something. If you, I don't know, maybe if, just think of what you do. So, for example, I used to be a copywriter and work in marketing. So I probably could go on a bunch of websites, and I'm sure there are companies looking for people that have jobs who could write extra marketing pieces for them. Whether they have a blog or they have, I don't know, work overflow, and they're looking for a copywriter, or they're just companies who are just starting out that can't afford a full-time copywriter and just kind of want someone to help them out. So maybe I put 5-10 hours a weekend and they pay me, and now I have a second stream of income. And for me, I think this is so essential. Like, you just need to get started. It has never been riskier to have a 9 to 5 job. I'm running a business, any business, full time is not for everyone. I'm not saying like you have to have a side hustle and then turn it into a full time and then quit your. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you need to have multiple sources of income. I mean, if you want to Uber, you want to do Uber Eats, you want to do DoorDash, like that's all fine and good. If you want to start like a blog or a personal brand, all I'm saying is you need a second source of income that is not your 9 to 5. And I guarantee you, 100%, you're going to feel different. You're going to be so much more confident. I remember going into work and being sitting there, and like the company was doing really bad that I was working for. They were going through a tough time. And I don't know if they were going to lay anyone off or like what the deal was, but like I didn't care. Like, reselling on the side wasn't making my full-time salary at the time, but like it was like I have something. Like, I could probably do more of this and make just as much money doing it. It's just like a safety net, right? There's just something so freeing knowing that you're in control. When I had that tire repair, I'm just sitting there, I'm like, I can't believe this. Like what are you gonna do? Like, you get paid the same amount every month for the most part, unless you're in sales or something. But for a majority of us, we're not, and we have a set schedule. We get a set amount of money, maybe a little raise at the end of the year, maybe a little bonus, but for the most part, like, we're kind of stuck making that. And I want to implore you to have a way to make your own money. One, for freedom. Freedom, that doesn't mean like you have to leave your 9 to 5 or anything, but it's just for peace of mind. Like, I know people who love working their 9 to 5, and they basically like fully fund their retirement, do all that good stuff, and the side hustle money that they make is just for fun. They go to Disney, they travel, they basically do whatever they want. And there's nothing wrong with that. All I am saying is make sure you start today. Have a way to make some extra money. God forbid you ever had to. I mean, with COVID, like, all these people lost their jobs. I'm just not talking about like places that got shut down, but like businesses are closing everywhere. I mean, you know that more is coming, like, before this is all over. And if all you had was a job, now you're kind of screwed because everyone is job searching, and yeah, there's not as many jobs as there are job searchers, I would presume. I don't know, I haven't really looked at the job market, but if you had something you could do to make extra money, at least you could like hold yourself over maybe a little. bit before you found a job, it would be less stressful. Just think about it. Like if you were able to make an extra $500, $1,000 a month, that's like anywhere from 6 to 12 grand a year. I mean, that's before taxes, of course, but just think about that. Like that's 2 nice vacations. That could be a new car. It could be whatever you want it to be. But all I'm saying is get started, take control, be able to make your own money. So if anything were ever to happen where you would need extra money, you would be covered. You don't have to go into debt. You don't have to put it on a credit card. You don't have to get a loan. Just figure out something you could do and start doing it. See what happens. That's exactly what I do. Now I've never been happier. If you ask me when growing up or whatever, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur and have my own business, but I never ever in a million years thought I'd be doing what I'm doing now. And it's all because I started. I bought 4 chairs on OfferUp for $10, sold them for $40, then sold some more furniture, and now I have a 6-figure business selling on Amazon and eBay and a little Facebook marketplace here and there. But anyone can do it. I want to implore you, just get started. Take control of your life. Take control of your financial future. And let me know in the comments, do you have a side hustle? Do you work full time? Or what you're even thinking about doing. And if you found this video helpful, please like it. Please subscribe to the channel. It really means a lot to me. And I will see you soon.